first take was not actually the take I sent you. And this is really going to make you happy.
Oh, no.
So to send you something, I actually had to dive in a second time. All right, so my wife over here had a great idea. Great idea? I'm not sure about that. She wants to know, Charlie and TJ, how much will you guys contribute to my bourbon budget if I jump in the pool behind me? Currently had an ice storm last night. It is icy all around. Still snowing. Yeah, look at those trees. Yeah, a legit ice storm. So, yeah, Rachel wants to know, what will you contribute to my bourbon budget if I jump in?
So at this point in time, Chuck and I pretty much just looked at each other and was like, duh.
I mean, to see Brian in misery
is
usually at the top of my list.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not far-fetched to be like, hey, we got an idea for how about a bottle of bourbon?
I guess we've figured out the value of Charlie's value for seeing Brian in misery.
Yeah. A bottle of Old Carter single barrel.
Yep. So I made the offer. I said I'd buy a bottle of Old Carter single barrel, which we had seen earlier today, if Brian would take the polar plunge into his freezing swimming pool.
And me personally, like, as soon as that text was sent, I would have been in the pool. Like,
clothes and all. Like, it would have just been like, boom.
Yep. I probably would have done a couple laps, done a little like swimming poses.
Just to make sure that I was satisfied that you went all out.
Yeah, exactly. Because Old Carter's really good, and this is totally worth it on not only you getting to see me do something stupid and be in misery, totally worth the misery too.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the point, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll be uncomfortable. I'll be freezing for a minute if for a bottle of Old Carter.
Yeah, absolutely. Needless to say, Brian wasn't convinced at the beginning.
It took him a little bit longer than we anticipated.
Yeah, I think it took like maybe half an hour, 45 minutes for him to like come to terms with the fact that I should probably do this. And then he gave us a 30-minute countdown to him doing it.
I don't know what he was doing during that time, like mentally preparing himself. I don't know. Namaste.
We get a text from Brian, and this is what we get.
Yeah, he's mentally preparing himself right here.
Yeah, I do like that he had to set himself an alarm to remember, because when you get that old, you forget.
I am most likely not going to like this at all.
And of course, Brian has to narrate everything.
It's a new year. Time to do new fun things. And cannonball!
Oh man, that was a cannonball for the ages. I think that might have issued some tsunami warnings in Hawaii.
Yeah. But if we were going to judge it on like critique it like the Olympics, I'm going to give it a 6. Maybe
I think I'm going 5. Like, he didn't tuck his legs.
Yeah.
The height on the jump was not special.
Yeah, it was almost, what was a can opener? It was almost a can opener.
There you go. Yeah.
But again, maybe when you're that old, you can't like bend as well or something. I don't know.
I mean, the splash was pretty good, but that might indicate that Brian's due for some New Year's resolutions about a diet plan. I'm not sure.
Ooh. So we shouldn't let him have the Old Carter then, because that's just empty calories.
That's true. Yeah.
So needless to say, we have the Old Carter. Brian doesn't yet. We need to make sure that we got him a good bottle.
The right product.
Yeah, exactly. It could be terrible.
Yeah.
That could be a whole new game plan. What will Brian do for a bottle of bourbon?
I like this game. The one bright side of this, we just came off of doing our best of, worst of 2020. Brian, I think, had one actual bourbon.
Yeah, and it was
multiple rye whiskeys and finished products.
Yeah, and the bourbon was one of his worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the old granddad bottle and bond.
So I'm looking forward to 2021 video because at least Brian will have a bourbon in his top 3.
Now, how are you going to feel if we get to the 2021 video and he chooses finished products or other things, and this doesn't even make his top 3?
He'd be dead to me.
Oh, yep. This is great. Oh, and what do you know? We got somebody calling us in on Zoom, and he doesn't know we're drinking his bourbon. So let's see what he has to say.
So Brian, I'm really curious what your mindset was going into it, because you gave us like a 30-minute head start. So it's like in that moment where you're focusing your chi. Yeah, walk us through that.
Yeah. So here's what happened.
Keep it less than 6 minutes.
Yeah. So once I texted you guys, and Charlie was so quick just to jump in on my pain and suffering by offering. I mean,
so accurate.
I mean, the amount of time from when I sent that message about, hey, how would you help my bourbon fund if I jumped in this ice cold water? Charlie, I mean, just the reply was so fast to promote my personal pain and suffering.
Whoa! I just think like I was willing to jump in there and help a friend. Like that's what that was.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I thought. Wow, if Charlie is so quick to be on board with me suffering, how many more of my friends are also on board with it? So I actually texted another group of my drinking friends, and they offered up $100.
Oh,
yeah. So, but
not at all.
So the caveat was that they had to be here. So that was part of the lead up time. So it was really like, you know, I was trying to maximize the my efforts. So my mindset going in was that this is going to be cold, and it's going
always
to be real
the
cold.
Deep thinker, Brian.
Yeah. And so I said, all right, I came to peace with it. I've swam in mountain, river, lake water before. It's pretty cold, but never like ice storm water that's been sitting right at freezing for like 5 days, and then it's topped off with an ice storm right on New Year's. So I figured this would be another level of cold, which it was. And so I was literally just kind of like, don't die. That was really my mind.
Well, I mean, you had a healthcare professional there observing. So.
I did. Thank goodness my wife is a nurse. Although my friend that was observing as well, right before I started into the water, they said, all right, if Brian seizes up, if his muscles involuntarily seize up due to the shock, how long should we wait before we rock, paper, scissors for who has
That's a good friend.
Which just felt less than supportive. So did I have a little bit of fear and anxiety as I cannonballed in? Yes, I did. But for good bourbon, and really just a good story.
And $100.
Yeah.
And $100. What did I have to lose?
Yeah.
What did I have to lose? Just my life, which I don't know. Maybe I got good value. Maybe I didn't for the risk.
I'm saying this old Carter's pretty good. Luckily,
pretty good.
The good news is he's got to send it back to us so we can rate it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm just hoping there's enough of the bottle left. I'm kind of like looking at that right now, going, okay, where are we at right now? In what condition am I going to get the bottle? And hopefully it'll love me enough not to water it down with.
Ooh, I hadn't even thought about that.
Thanks for giving us the idea. like you're going to check that it's 120 proof.
Yeah. So there's more to the story, but my initial dive in, everything became very tingly, very fast.
you know, it's just like I don't know, like maybe like just getting shocked with ice through your veins, really. And then I was like, okay, we're getting out of here. And yeah, so that was great. I love the support also, as I've already mentioned, from my wife and friend. I was freezing cold because it was still freezing out, basically. And I was trying to get into the house to warm up. And right as I was attempting to do that, my wife, and all of the love that she has to offer, said, "You're not going in there wet." And so that, you know, really just felt good as well. I was like, I think we can get some towels and mop up the floor later, but so I had to stand there for a minute until I could towel off in the cold before I could go in the house.
Oh, see, these
So,
are
I mean,
part of
I
the
guess
videos I wish we
whether
still
it's
got.
July and it's 103 degrees, or whether it's January and 30 degrees, same rules apply. Dry before you go in the house.
Rules are rules.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just appreciate you explaining the side bet that we did not know about, because this entire time I was like telling Chuck, I don't understand what's taking so long, because as soon as he said Old Carter, I would have been in the pool doing laps, like taking pictures.
Yeah. I'm not sure you'd be swimming laps.
Yeah, it's Old Carter.
It's hard to move. It's hard to move in water that cold. Yeah. You know, if you'd thrown in a Stag Junior on top, I don't know, I might have tried to do one lap across the pool or something, or at least dove off the diving board or something. But maybe next time.